Hi, I'm Justin Jensen, and welcome to my channel. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and may fall again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. Teddy Roosevelt. Hello, how's everyone doing? Hope you are well. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Today is January 10th, 2023. Oh, thank you, A. Gooden. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. Good to see everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I do appreciate your time and appreciate you all just being here. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to be covering Anna, and it's not looking good, to be quite honest with you, Anna Walsh. And they've made some really, really bad discoveries. Well, Ozzy, I've been waiting all day for you too. And Wendy, don't give out my secrets that I'm telling. I gotta tell people this. I'm just kidding. Yeah, really bad. And we're going to, of course, be talking about Idaho 4. Very, very sad. That man has no soul. Her poor sons. I completely agree. Just a girl. Completely agree. In fact, I have a photo. I'm going to start crying now of her kids, and they're standing at the beach, and their backs are, toward the beach. You just see their backs, and I'm going to show you guys that here in a little bit. And it's heartbreaking. Well, as are you, peaceful warrior. Good to see you. All right, so we're going to start chopping it up and talking about it all. Any victim or any perpetrators, suspects that we will be talking about, they are technically innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. However, we are not the court, and we have hypothesis here, and we talk about the facts, and we also, no chopping, right? And we also, speculate some, but not get too out of hand. We try to keep it classy as much as possible. So yeah, we'll just start diving into it. I don't even know where I need to start. I have literally so much. So what I will pull up first. Let's start out with something good. Well, not good. I mean, good, but bittersweet. Bittersweet. It's a sweet gesture, I guess. Ethan's smile. Idaho victim Ethan Chapin was beloved employee at Tulip Farm. Now gardens will grow in his memory. I will remember Ethan standing in the tulip fields with a big smile, surrounded by people that know and love him. Andrew Miller, co-owner and CEO of Tulip Valley Farms in Washington, tells People magazine. So the um, yellow is it's for obviously the college that he was going to, and white resembles it's a universal color of hope, and so this collection of flowers will grow in Ethan's name and Ethan's memory for eternally. Whenever the collection is ready, for those of you that don't know, gardening is my passion, and I plan on purchasing some, and I will show you guys what I end up doing with them. You tulips you generally plant in the fall, and so they can come up in the spring. But I look forward to it. I don't know if they are available for sale right now or not, but it's just a little reminder. You know, as true crime uh, on YouTube creators, we do a lot of cases, and all cases are important because every life is important. But that being said, there are cases that affect individual creators personally more, some more than others, and it's just the way it is. And different cases speak to an individual for whatever reason. And I look forward to being able to grow these, and I hope you guys can, if you like to garden, please do this in Ethan's name, and for really all the four victims of this. And the tulip farm, uh, Andrew Miller, they're in Mount Vernon, Washington. Andrew Miller, he's the co-owner and the CEO of Tulip Valley Farms in Washington. Tells People that Ethan worked at a farm, and he managed during the 2021 season, and quickly became a friend and also a role model to all who work there. He says, quote, Ethan was a kid that I could put the hardest jobs on with the people, and who might have been grumpy, and by the end of the day, they wouldn't be grumpy anymore. Now, Reese Gardner, 18 years old, became fast friends with Ethan that spring. And Reese says, quote, he was always just a nice guy out on the field. He also says that I would go to work when I wasn't scheduled just so I could hang out with Ethan. When you have a job that you go to work whenever you're not even scheduled just to be with the people, that's more than an employee that is, or a coworker or whatever, that's a lifetime friend. Sometimes even family members, they become family. So I just thought I would bring that to you guys. And this is the collection. It's a white and a yellow tulip, and they are in memory of Ethan, which the collection is called Ethan's Smile Tulip Mix. It's wonderful. They say, quote, also, there's some symbolism in this because yellow is a joy color and white is an eternal color, Miller says, quote, so to be able to really combine eternal joy that Ethan brought into the world and to be able to extend that is pretty meaningful, end quote. And as the name goes, well, it's just fitting. Quote, I remember Ethan standing in the tulip fields with a big smile, surrounded by people that know and love him. End quote, Miller said, quote, that's exactly how I will remember him, just with a big smile looking out, end quote. And Gardner, the 18-year-old that came to work just to be with Ethan, to hang out and talk to him, he says, quote, there was never an ounce of bad in that guy. He was just so nice and kind, and I think the tulips are great because you can look out and see them, and they remind you of Ethan because of how pure he was and was a beautiful person. And you can see that represented in tulips. Next spring, the yellow and white tulips will begin to bloom. We've got 25,000 Ethan Smiles already planted in the field. Anybody that wants to come out next spring at the Tulip Festival and Tulip Valley Farms and see that. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I can't wait till they are ready. Just even to see them and hopefully purchase them, and we can all, spread the Ethan's joy around the world, for that matter. All right, now let me just let's do Anna's first. I just wanted to bring something, not so heavy to the beginning, but there is a lot going on with Deanna. There has been developments for the last few days, nearly every hour, as a matter of fact. I mean, it's just always been something. I do believe they are getting really close to finding her, hopefully. Now, they have found a lot since last night. Last night, when we were live, they stated that you could tell that they found something, and the news anchors, and there was word on Twitter coming around saying, they think they found something. We wasn't sure if they found Anna or if they found something else related. Yes, horrible garbage again. You're exactly right. Pardon me. So they have found a hacksaw at the garbage facility, and they've actually found more than a hacksaw. They found relating evidence to the mysterious disappearance of Anna Walsh while searching through the trash at a garbage facility, according to the report. Sources told WBZ-TV that investigators found trash bags with blood, a rug, a hatchet, and a hacksaw. And guess what else? used cleaning supplies. While combing through the waste at the transfer station in Peabody, Massachusetts, on yesterday, Anna Walsh, she's a mom of three, 39 years old. She had been missing since New Year's Day after leaving her home. Her art dealer husband, right? Brian, another Brian, that's all we need. He's 46 years old. He was arrested Monday, and he was accused of deliberately misleading the police during this investigation. You would think a loving husband they share three children together would not want to mislead the police, wouldn't you? But that's not exactly what Brian cares about right now. He is not worried about his wife. He's not worried about his kids. He's worried about his own self. Now, after they catch him lying, saying, he's got this ankle monitor on his leg because he sold two fraudulent Andy Warhol dupe paintings for a considerable amount of money. See the video yesterday. We talk a lot about that. Yeah, a considerable amount of money. So he was waiting to go to trial for that. Now, it appears that he's going to be going to trial, most likely, for more than Andy Warhol paintings. So they catch him at Home Depot buying $450 of cleaning supplies. Okay. He's not supposed to be there. He says he stopped at a CVS. He stopped at a Whole Foods on his way to mommy's house. But oh my God, I got lost on my way to mother's house. So I make a detour and, buy $450 in cleaning supplies and some tarps and everything else. No big deal, right? No big deal. My wife's just missing. That's all. Mother of my kids, ages 2, 4, and 6. So they search his basement, and guess what they find? Blood and a bloody, bent knife. So Brian was arrested, and he's just smiling. He looks like he's joyous being in jail. But I soon suspect that smile will be off your face, Brian. I suspect that. Because you're not charged with murder right now. But in my opinion, Boston doesn't mess around. And they're coming for you. They're coming for you. So, still nothing. We have still not have found beautiful Anna. Still looking for her. However, yesterday we find out Brian Googles how to dismember a body. How to dismember a body. Now listen, I do true crime, right? And my Google is everywhere, right? Like we have to look up a lot in true crime. But listen, I have never Googled how to dismember a body. Okay? Okay. I've certainly never Googled that while a spouse has been missing. Okay? Third of all, which is like the worst thing on top of that, he says, Googles how, what was it? How to, um, what was it? How to uh, basically get rid of 115-pound body. How to dismember a 115-pound body. That's what it was. How to dismember and uh, get rid of a 115-pound body. Guess what? His wife is 115 pounds. She's tiny, yeah. And she's beautiful. And she did not, she was way like too good for him. How to dispose of a 115-pound body. Thank you, Texas Angel. That's what it was. What do you do? The man is crazy. Yes, he is, Michelle. He is certainly crazy. I don't know. I got this up, pulled up, but you know, they're looking. You know, he's like, they're searching. Like, where, you know, where's Anna? She's got 3 kids. Can you imagine? You have a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-year-old. They want to know where their mommy is right now. Let me show you. And then I'm going to show you what Brian wrote back in the day. This is their 3 kids. This is their 3 beautiful kids. Yes. Yes, this is the thing. They are in state's custody right now. State's custody. Anna's parents, you know, she's an immigrant. Brian's mother is, you know, she's not in good health. She just had surgery. They're in Boston. And he was yesterday they gave him $500,000 cash bond. $500,000 cash bond is what they did yesterday. Yeah, if someone's talking about, you know, this is exactly what they put in the newspaper. So it's the back of their heads. I have, you know, I do, you know, temporary foster care. And when I used to do longer term foster care, this is how we had to take photos. So I'm very familiar with you know, photos. Like you can't show their faces. Jesse, I doubt it if he can't afford that. I don't think he can. He hasn't got out on bail that I am aware of. Not as of last night. I know that, and I really don't think he's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I mean, you think he's got $500,000 laying around? He's got a lot of problems coming to him. The kids are in the state's custody right now. Yes, that is correct. Oh, things are funny. He only need no, as long as he has $500,000 in collateral. I don't think he's got $500,000 in collateral. He still owes quite a bit. And also, I don't know if it's, I don't know if you can do like property types of bail in Boston. I really don't know. Yes, guys, if you guys don't mind, hit the thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate it. Very, very sad. Now I want to show you what this is today. They finished searching the home today. This is where they found the bag with blood in it, the cleaning up stuff, the towels, the axe, and everything else. It's a little blurry. Now, this is what I want to show you. This is Brian himself. And he goes wanted, and he's got a picture of himself here. I'm going to read it for you. Favorite saying, I guess, and he wrote, he really hasn't changed a lot, and that's what I want to. You'll understand in a second. He really has not changed since he just hasn't matured at all. They found a hatchet and then like a what was it? Hatchet and a hacksaw. A hatchet and a hacksaw. Also, with the Google how to dismember a body, it's pretty apparent that she's not with us anymore. She's not. I just hope they can find her so they can throw him behind bars for the rest of his natural life. Favorite saying, and he has money in quotation marks. I want an A. Other quote, I work too hard. Stack market. Quote, I shop, therefore I am. No, I won't level you. It looks like level, but maybe he means lend you $1. And then drop dead as one of his favorite quotes. Favorite song, We're in the Money. Movie, Color of Money is his favorite movie. His favorite book is Hot Money. His favorite magazine is Money. His favorite newspaper is the Wall Street Journal. And his hair. Okay. Interesting, right? Now, permanent record is what he says. 9/6 of 1980. He came to school. 11/15 of 1986. He ruined a party by showing up. I could see that. I can see that. 1980 through 1989. Almost got killed. We were so close, is what he says. 1980 through 1989 is again, bothered as many people as possible. I can see that. You're still running lives, a lot of them. November 12th, 1981, announced that he hated people. You can't make this up. Like, you literally cannot make this up, right? June 21st, 1989, left school, thank God, party. Brian, and it says, I guess it means wanted, dead or alive. Okay, wanted, dead or alive. Like, if you give him up dead, he's worth like $1 trillion. And if he's if he is if you bring him in alive, then you're worth like 1/10 of 1 cent. So it sounds like and it appears, with all of this Andy Warhol stuff that he sold for, I think it was $250,000 for 2 paintings. Now, he has to pay, I think, $250,000 or $275,000 back in fines, and then he's facing up. He sold them for $225,000. That's what it was. And then he has to pay $275,000 back in fines, and he's facing up to 20 years. Hey, Dreamcatcher. So yeah, he's apparently obsessed with money. Obsessed. I mean, every quote, every song, every magazine is about money. Everything. Saving money. I want a ... I work too hard. I shop, therefore I am. I am. No, I won't. Loaned you $1. Favorite song, we're in the money. Favorite movie, Color of Money. Favorite book, Hot Money. Favorite magazine, Money. Favorite newspaper, Wall Street Journal. So, yep, that's him. So they are still searching. Now, back in, I think it was last year before last, whenever all this art thing was taking off. Hello, dear friends. How are you? Did Anna have life insurance? I don't know. I see you. Hey, Camille. I hope you're feeling better, honey. Very, very shallow. Anna and many, many friends wrote the judge to put in a good word for Brian, her husband, and the father of her children. And this is what Anna wrote. Sorry. No. This is what his mother-in-law wrote. Hello, my name is Ninad, and I can't pronounce her last name. I'm sorry. I teach music to toddlers in Serbia, and I am a childhood. Okay, never mind. This is a childhood friend. I've seen so many of these letters. Like they literally wrote like 200 freaking letters to the judge. I am a childhood friend to Anna. I met Brian for the first time in 2012 through his wife, Anna. Over the past 9 years, I have gotten to know Brian very well, even though we have only met in person a few times and speak occasionally on the phone. I have come to know Brian Walsh as a fun, loving, positive, and trustworthy individual. I only learned of Brian's legal troubles today. My father passed away last week. Anna and Brian reached out to offer their sympathies, and Brian spent over an hour on the phone with me, comforting me through my loss. Uh, Through the entire time, no different than the last 9 years, Brian was giving to me and asking for nothing in return, giving me his time, emotion, and love. As I was saying goodbye to Anna on the phone, uh, I said to hope to be able to one day reciprocate Brian's kindness. So then she then told me that Brian's legal difficulties in the United States. I asked her to speak directly to Brian directly about it before hanging up. Brian told me what occurred and said that he didn't initiate a conversation about it sooner because he did not want to remove my focus from her father. Um, yeah, very, very sad. Very sad. Um, okay, this is for later. Oh, Camille, you feeling bad still, honey? I'm sorry. My dad literally lives a few blocks from her house. It's so very sad. Oh, sorry. Hey, Sleuthy. Good to see you, lovey. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm. I don't know what the hell they've done. To be quite honest with you, like he needs to. Like, there's so much. Like he's literally not good at this, at all, at all. Let me just make sure I don't have anything else on. Anna, she is. It's really getting out there today because I mean she's trending on Twitter currently, so that's good because she deserves justice, and her 4 babies certainly, or 3 babies, ages 2, 4, and 6 deserve it, to say the very least. All right. Now we're going to, I guess, move to Idaho. And what we should talk about first. First, I would like to debunk some misinformation that has been going around. And one is that recording that allegedly came from the neighbor's house. It did not come from the neighbor's house at all. Chanley from Court TV today. Let me see if I can find it. I thought I had it pulled up. She went over, maybe it was yesterday. It was today or yesterday. She went over to the neighbors and asked them about that recording. That recording did not come from next door. So I think that's very important. Hold on 1 second. Court TV. Oh, never mind. 2 seconds. I'm sorry, guys. I thought I had it pulled up. TV channel. All right, let's look at this. Because we need to talk about misinformation.
Were brutally stabbed inside this home in the early morning hours of...
Hold on, I don't know if it was this one. Okay, maybe it was this one. This is it. This one's it.
So a viral post going around about some audio from the crime scene on the night of those murders. What do we know about that?
Yeah. That's right. If anyone has been following this case closely, especially online and social media, TikTok, Facebook, you probably noticed a viral post, multiple viral posts regarding alleged audio. Remember in the affidavit, it says at 4:17 a.m., the neighbors to my left here have a surveillance video camera that picked up audio from Xana Kernodle's room about 50 feet away, about 4:17, hearing the dog begin to bark, hearing a loud thud and what sounded like either whispers or whimpering at around 4:17 during the time of the murders. So circulating online are posts like the ones you see on the screen of this alleged audio of that surveillance video here. And so being on the ground, I spoke with the neighbors here. Paul's going to pan over here how close this home is, this blue home that we've seen next to the crime scene where that surveillance video would be. I caught the people living there walking out earlier, and they have debunked that audio. It is not the audio from that surveillance video. So I think that's important to clear up because those posts have gone so viral. But you can see behind me just how close that blue home where that surveillance video would be to Xana Kernodle's room right up there on the second floor to be able to pick that up.
I think it's very important that that is a no bueno, right? So anybody that tells you that that is real, tell them to watch this or watch Court TV, and they will show you that that is not real. In fact, I do not sleep in the dark right now. Yeah, and I mean it's this case has really bothered a lot of folks. I mean, it really has. You know, they're just so young and so senseless. You know, and it's just really, really sad. Okay, now I want to go to let's talk about Dylan and Carrie. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Welcome to the family, everyone. Please welcome Carrie to the family. Appreciate you very much. So, as I've said it time and time again, please listen. These police, these authorities, the FBI, and everyone has done an amazing job. Which you and I know, if you guys are true crimers, you know we don't always see that. You don't always see that. And it is such a blessing when you do see really good police work. And the thing with the internet is they're never pleased. People are never, ever pleased. If you feel like they're not doing the right thing, it's off with their, tell them a thing or two about themselves, right? And I think, they're public servants. You have a right to, but nobody can argue that they've done an incredible job. An incredible job. And if you believe they have done an incredible job, then they have thoroughly looked at everyone. Everyone. The only person that is involved as of now that police have said is Brian Kohberger. I want to make that very clear. Brian. Not anyone in that house. Sorry, I got something going on here.
With that, let us bring in TJ Warren, a private investigator.
Brian Kohberger, and that is it. There is no connection. The attorney to Kaylee's parents' attorney have came out. They said that they have not seen any connection that they have even known of at all to Brian as of now. I'll show you that article here in a minute. There, listen, I understand it's okay to have questions. It's okay to have questions, but it is not okay to beat this like a dead horse over and over and over again. And this is the thing. You have questions, that's fine. You'll get your answers when court happens. That's when you'll get your answer. Some things we just don't get, like right now. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to show you someone who had a very similar situation happen to her several years ago. And she talks about how Dylan may have reacted because this woman was in the same type of situation. Take a listen.
Out shows us it's like a computer. Our minds are like a computer, and if you put a program on a computer that doesn't have the capacity, the fact that she passed out shows us it's like a computer. Our minds are like a computer, and if you put a program on a computer that doesn't have the capacity, your computer will crash. She passed out. She was not able to handle this, and I think we need to just show her so much more compassion and stop tearing her down. And it's sad that in today's age of social media, everyone wants to just tear her down and say, I would have done this, I would have done that. Well, just because you watch true crime movies, or just because you know how Lionel Messi should be acting on the playing field, does not give you the right to tell someone what to do in a situation like this.
Well, look, too often, especially with media, social media these days, people stink. But there was one other aspect that I thought was really important, because I've been reminded a couple of times by people that people connected to this story are watching our coverage. And you said, look, when I saw the room the next day and the officers told me how gory it was, I was overwhelmed, because I hadn't even been able to imagine that. Very similar, the same thing in Idaho. And forget about culpability. Now it's about survivability. What do you want the surviving roommates to know about how it worked for you and how they have to protect themselves?
They're two different eras, first of all, and two different situations. I didn't see the attacker, but in my situation 30 years ago, I didn't have someone coming to give me counseling. I didn't have my school didn't even stop and allow me, to take a break from my semester. I just moved on in life because that's what we did 30 years ago. Nowadays, we have so much more advances in mental health and in counseling. And I hope, because the thing is, it's not going to go away. So I hope that these girls can take this experience and try to shine light and do more good in this world, because we need more people that can, have this experience and be able to turn it around and help other people and help to shine light on things. I hope that we can look at the beautiful lives that these girls shared, and Ethan as well. So that's the best thing that I can offer is them to just, it's not their fault, take no blame, and do your best to help others.
Alrighty. Sorry, I'm having a little technical difficulty. Please continue watching the rest of that. That's just a short clip. The full interview is on News Nation, and you can watch it. And she really goes into detail about how her roommate was stabbed nearly to death. And very similar situation, and she had no idea. And they found her in the next morning. So, it's you just don't know until you're in that situation. You think you might know, but it's never okay. It's never okay to judge something you don't fully know. Like, you can have a theory or whatever, but the hatred and just the outlandish speculation of, this person may be connected with this person, and this person might be connected with this person, when there is no basis at all, like none in reality. None. And like I said, if you actually think that Dylan and I would ever go to bed thinking that there were 4 of her deceased roommates upstairs, don't worry about it. I'll catch it in the morning. No. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Some people, this is a horrific situation. It's full of drama and murder and everything else. It doesn't need to be made any worse. It doesn't need to be made any worse. It doesn't. And it's just not needed. And I don't believe, and I can't believe that a person who shared the same home, broke bread, laughed and cried, literally, hours prior to their death, did this. And people's like, well, they could be connected with Brian. I'm like, where is there any evidence that they're connected with Brian? Like, any evidence? There is none. There is none. And I'm like, okay, we know Brian at a minimum was outside of that house in that area at least 12 times, stalking them, At least 12 times. Why would Brian stalk somebody when he already knew, if he already knew someone inside? That makes no sense. No sense. You know, this is the thing. This is not a Leilani Simon. You know, this isn't, you know, a bad mother who beats, you know, their children or throw their kids in the dump. You know what I mean? Like these were just college kids, literally living their life. That's all they were doing, was living their life. They said 12 times for 5 months. Yes, which is essentially every week. And that's when he, you know, didn't turn his phone off. But these were just kids living their life, going to school, trying to, you know, graduate and do better for themselves and make their families proud. And even after this tragedy, people are still throwing the survivors under the bus. And I can't get down with that. Can't. Brian is evil. Worry about the evil one. Phone pings reach up to 46 miles. Well, they can tell you the vicinity. And also, they can tell you that his phone and his Bluetooth was pinging off of electronics in the house. You know, when you're in your neighborhood and stuff, if you're walking down your sidewalk or your street or whatever, turn on your Bluetooth while you're walking down the sidewalk. Look at how many times it's trying to connect. Bing, 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 bing. Yep, touching the home's Wi-Fi. Yep. And the Bluetooth. Don't forget the video of his car and the DNA. Yeah. Yep. It's literally just a little here that makes the bigger picture. And this is the thing. If you trust the police and the FBI and even retired Secret Service who are talking about this case, that they got the right guy, Brian Kohberger, if you believe them, then believe them when they say that the 2 surviving victims has nothing to do with it. You can't just half-ass believe it. You either do or you don't. And that's just simple. That's just simply it. And that affidavit, it is, if we're lucky, it's 1/10 of what they have. If we're lucky, it's 1/10 of what they have. Yes, they did, Jenny Lou. Yes, they did. And this is the thing. Even the victim's parents have said, leave them alone. Leave them alone. DNA don't lie. I mean, I've heard it. I wanted to bang my head against the door today or something. I mean, honestly, people's like, well, they planted his DNA. I'm like, yeah. They're like, I mean, they literally said, Brian, would give up his DNA for someone else. I'm like, you guys are, I mean, please. So this is the thing. I mean, I have to follow my own convictions, and that is exactly what I'll do. And thank you so much, Tracy. People will feel really bad when she could become their star witness and quite possibly be the reason this monster is convicted and gets her 4 friends and their family justice they deserve. Tracy, amen to that. I was talking to a very good friend of mine today, and she was saying, yeah, she's, the other side's going to come after her, of course, but this Dylan is going to be one of the main reasons, in my opinion, other than obviously DNA and all of that. And her description is going to be exactly the reason, one of the main reasons that gets him convicted. If she does get on that bench, which I am absolutely sure she will. The defense lawyer better take it easy on DMBF. Well, it's going to, Dylan is very important. She's very important. She's an eyewitness, absolutely. And she's lucky to be alive. And I'll tell you what, not for an iota of a second do I believe that there is any involvement for either two of them, of the surviving victims, or survivors is what I call them. They're not. There's 4 victims. But I don't believe someone of her age could simply, being in the right mind, I actually don't think that she thought it was this big thing. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, there's a lot of people in that house, in and out of that house. I mean, we've seen literally the police video of, knocking on the door, and, the 3 guys come out and everything like that. And they're like, who lives here? And they're like, well, actually, we don't know. They don't know. You're in college. You've got people. I mean, it's just a free for all, these houses. And, all but really, I think one of the girls was gone in that cop cam, body camera. And the rest of the girls were gone, and they didn't know anybody, and a lot of people in that house. And you got people just coming in and out all the time. So I can't subscribe to someone, you know, thinking that this young lady has, just literally left her friends up there knowing what was going on. I don't think she did. I mean, I thought she may have opened the door and cracked it and said, "This dude's weird." But it was a football night, right? And what happens on football games? People wear all kinds of on their face, hats, paint, right? It was a football night. It was a party night. And trust me. And he was wearing a mask like this. That's exactly right. Thank you, Megan. You're very kind. Yeah, exactly. You pass all kinds of strangers in the college dorms and all of that. Um, I was talking to a friend earlier today, and he was in college, and he was in a dorm. He woke up one night, and some guy is just going through like his drawers and stuff like that, and he catches his, he gets his mind together, and he looks, and it's not anybody in his door, anybody that he knows. So he gets up, he's in his boxers, and it's really cold outside, and he starts chasing the guy, and he's chasing him out like on the sidewalk and everything, and it's really cold and all that. And I guess like the campus security finally came around and went inside, gave him what he saw of the guy, and he said, something, I went straight back to bed because I didn't check on my roommates. He didn't check on his roommates. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. But I don't believe in at all that she thought that someone was upstairs hurt, murdered, and I certainly don't believe that in the morning she knew she was going to wake up to 4 of her roommates and friends being slaughtered. Nope. I don't. They even said they all loved prank. Oh, of course they love pranking each other. They've just a few days. Mods, if you need me to put it on subscribers only, just let me know and I'll do that. If you guys are getting a lot of bullhickey. Why would she think that? Yeah, that's exactly right. That is exactly right, Goofy Girl. I mean, you cannot imagine, your roommates are all literally dead by the time he is passing your room, going to that kitchen. Like they're gone. Four to 8 seconds, they're going to be unconscious. These are as many stab wounds as they had. If there was a doctor in front of them with that many stab wounds, they would have not survived in front of them. There is too much damage with those types of knives. There's just too much. She was probably under the influence and not thinking at all highly. Yeah, I mean, they were all probably a little under the influence, that. Who are we to question the girl? Lord help us. Well, this is the thing. Like, I would feel horrible knowing that I, publicly, went after this girl over and over and over and over when she's in a survivor and a victim of, losing her 4 friends and being in the midst of this, and that she did nothing wrong. These are not people that throw their kid in a dumpster. These are not people that starve their children. These are just American, good, wholesome kids who are going to college and keeping it down. And that's it. I don't know, Nicole. I really don't know. People's asked me about that skinning, and I just don't know. Actually, let's look at this. Let me find it, and we'll look at it. Nancy Grace talked about it today, and she really said some good stuff about it. If I've got it pulled up somewhere, I got so much. How many tabs do y'all have open on your computer right now? I bet you I got you beat. Like, mine's redonkulous. They're even, like, the Daily Mail and all of them, they're literally taking pictures of Dylan running. Like, she just wants to, and just even, the psychological trauma that she's is going through right now. You know what I mean? It's just something that, and even the survivor's guilt, and the lady that I was just showing you just a few moments ago, who it happened 20 or 30 years ago for her when that happened. She said, this is something that you never get over. It is with you every day, even still. You can't get over that. There's no way you can get over that. Oh, maybe it was on Twitter. Here, let's do this. Just give me 2 seconds. This,
That let us bring in TJ Warren, a private investigator who worked on the Natalie Holloway disappearance.
Okay. Here we go. It's going to pull it up. We'll just pull it up right here, like this. Nancy El Grasso. I don't know what's wrong with my Twitter. It's been running like so slow. I spelled Grace wrong. Okay, there's Nancy Grace. Now, she says some really interesting things today, and I thought it was very fitting. She was talking about Dylan. She actually just showed up in Idaho just a little bit ago, and she ate where the girls worked. Lots and lots of rolling hills country as far as the eye can see in Idaho. Look at all the potato fields, right? Potato fields. Let me show you this. This is the Mad Greek. And they have this table out, and it's kind of like a little makeshift, thing, and it's just beautiful for them. So she ate there too, but let me find it. Okay, maybe it was, I swear it was on this. Hold on. Damn it, I thought she had. Okay, here it is.
About Dylan DM, as she is called in the probable cause affidavit. How could it be? Everybody says that he walked right by her and didn't see her. I have a theory on that, Laura, and that theory is that she ducked back in her door and had the door cracked and saw him go by. Would that work with the evidence as we know it?
It could, certainly. And I mean, when you read the affidavit, it doesn't say
Jesus.
Standing in the doorway, in front of the kitchen. It doesn't give us that detail. It just says that she did open the door, and it says three things, very distinct sounds. And clues that we have from DM.
This is pissing me off. I don't know what's wrong with my computer right now.
Dylan, the roommate, that she heard who she thought was Kaylee saying, "There's someone here." Then she heard the whimpering and crying sounds and a male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." And then that third and final time she opens the door, she sees the figure dressed in black with the mask and the bushy eyebrows, and then says she locked the door. One of the other things, I want to go back to the sheets just really quick, because you had said at the beginning of the show, we've wondered if Brian Kohberger got involved with discussions online on Facebook groups and on Reddit and on all these things. But there was a very specific thing that somebody said that a lot of people are saying could probably be Brian Kohberger. He wrote on a Facebook page that was titled University of Idaho Murder Facebook discussion group.
Is that when he was going under Papa Rogers or the other name?
Papa Rogers,
allegedly?
right.
Okay.
And this is before the probable cause affidavit.
Mm-hmm.
And he says one of the evidence Of the evidence released, the murder weapon has
Ugh.
consistent as a large fixed blade knife. This leads me to believe they found the sheath. We didn't know about
Bingo.
the sheath at the time.
Yeah.
We did not know about
Yeah,
it.
but that's a leak from the investigation is where that's coming from. You can't believe that they knew that
Unless
all along,
that was
and
him
somebody didn't
bragging
talk about
online.
Sorry, that was painful to listen to because, I mean, just because of it's not my internet, it's my laptop today. And I got, you're gonna laugh. Actually, I bought something today that was supposed to make it faster, but it's not working apparently. It's making it like 1,000 times worse. So yeah, she says that it's, I thought y'all would like that. But she talks
Laura Engel, we've heard a lot about
that. So anywho, they know who made those comments. I have the luck of you, yeah, telling you. It's fun, isn't it? It could be Twitter. I don't know if it's Twitter. It's my laptop. My internet's fine. I'm looking at the speed right now. I pay a chunk for my internet, like for the fastest. And it's just like, it's really I think it's just my Twitter. All right. Let's, what are we going to see here? We got, let me read this to you. Let's get a slideshow here. And this is the district court in the state of Idaho for the motion to preserve the crime scene and evidence. I hadn't seen this going around a lot, and so this is when they made a motion to, not clean that house, to preserve everything, right? And it says, comes now Brian C. Kohberger by and through his attorney, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, and now hereby moves this court for an order directing that the county prosecutor to preserve the crime scene located at 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, including the home and outbuildings, vehicles, and further, Mr. Kohberger requests that the court to order the county prosecutor office to preserve all evidence is its custody or under the control or in the control of their agents. Further, Mr. Kohberger requests the county to order the prosecution to notify defense counsel prior to any potentially destructive testing and or examinations. The motion is made so that the defense counsel may take a view of the scene in order to effectively and constitutionally represent Mr. Kohberger, and it is made pursuant to Idaho Criminal Rule 16, the 6th Amendment in the United States Constitution. And this was dated December 30th, 2022. Hadn't seen that been going around, so I thought that would be interesting. I haven't seen a lot of people put that up. So this is when they wanted to preserve the crime scene. Now, I know a lot of people have talked about Brian's sister apparently, allegedly being there. I have that. I don't know. I really don't know on that one. So I don't want to. I don't. Now, this is the thing. I cannot see for the life of me. Maybe she was outside. Maybe she was outside. But for the life of me, I cannot not see them allowing her inside the crime scene. And you want to know why? Just for one reason and one reason alone. 3 letters. DNA. Because what is Brian and his sister? They're brother and sister, right? And what do they share? DNA. Coffee cake. So, when they are doing crime scenes, like when they are, taking the samples and everything, they're not even allowed to talk. You can't even speak until all the samples are taken. Why? Because when you talk, droplets come out of your mouth. You do not speak when you're collecting all of this DNA. So there is no way under God's green earth can I mean, now maybe she was outside taking pictures of the property, just like any other news or YouTuber or passerby, or maybe that. But there's just no way I can see them allowing her inside. Yeah, they are masked, of course, Amy, but still, like, they don't want you even speaking still. I don't think they even knew yet. Yeah. Now, I did C-Star, did the Daily Mail do a story on that? Maybe hold on. Someone sent me a picture I put on my slideshow. Okay. I don't know where this picture came from, but this is one of Brian's sisters, and this is who they're saying they're alleging, right? Now, to be quite honest with you, I can see to me, they look a lot alike. But I don't know. I don't see her. I don't know if this person went inside or not. She would never be allowed to be there. Absolutely not. Like, I can't. I agree. It's photo edited to, like, in my opinion. That's another thing they could have done. Yes, they could have dropped a human right there. Yeah, I mean, to make it look. Stranger things have been done, right? Oh, true crime crazy, let me tell you. I would love to know that. Any idea on why the search warrant for BK's apartment was sealed? It could be anything, to be honest with you. It could be anything. It could be, he could have been a peeping Tom. He could have been watching these, for instance, this is 1,000% speculation right now, what I'm saying, but I'm just trying to give you an example. you know, it could be something like he was a peeping Tom and he was watching some of these victims, you know, and, you know, they don't want the pictures to get out, you know, and that could be why it's sealed, to protect, you know, the living roommates and, you know, the deceased. But it could be just something, you know, I don't know. I don't know. They're not going to let any other family inside any active I mean, I couldn't imagine them letting them in this crime scene. There are a lot of rabbit holes. All right, SB. Good night, honey. God bless you. This I thought was a good photo. You know, this is Xan and Ethan's room right over here, right? And then the bathroom, living room is right here, right? There's the good vibe sign. Staircase. This is the kitchen, and Dylan's room is right here. You know, it's back a little bit. The door kind of goes in, but you know, there was like a TikTok video of them just running and, you know, just not really even knowing the way they were traveling. You know, they didn't know where the other one was when they was making like a TikTok video, and one was in Dylan's room and they thought they was upstairs. So I thought that was pretty cool picture. Now, did you see this? Oh, thank you, Alabama 1-4. Appreciate you, honey. Super chat train. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. Very sweet. Thank you. This right here is what, you know, that video that Chris McDonough from the interview room caught, you know, that it very well may have been Brian. This was another picture, and it's a Brian. It seems this is the day he was supposedly in the area, according to the warrants. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was him, because we do know he was in Moscow. Back got my coffee. You drinking coffee this late? Lordy Lord. He came back for his sheath. Yeah, I bet you he lost his sheath whenever he realized he lost his sheath. Didn't he? So yes, yep. That's, what do you mean dispelled who was her? I want to be clear. I'm sorry. I just don't want any more misinformation. Now, this right here is where Brian allegedly parked, like right here under this tree, from what it says. Here's Dylan's room, right? Knowing that they're so freaking close. So freaking close, right? Now, to be honest with you, Bee's Knees, welcome to the fam. Please welcome Bee's Knees to the family. Thank you, my dear. It is very creepy. Very creepy. Now, think about that. it wouldn't take much for his little phone or his little Bluetooth car or anything to ping. That's how freaking close it is. Happy New Year. So, this is, I think they're going to have a really solid case, just based upon what we know now, right? But that's not saying that it's going to be easy for them, because, Brian, he's going to make this as probably as complicated for his own attorney, let alone, the state and all of that. Mandy Pandy, super judging. Much love to you, Justin. Is there a court date on Thursday? I thought I heard that somewhere on Facebook. Jesus to goodness. Thank you, Mandy Pandy. I appreciate your super chat dream. From what I understand, yes, it's been like rescheduled and the time changed and everything. So yes, there is a court hearing. It is it's really just a hearing. Wouldn't he need a password for the Wi-Fi access? To get on their Wi-Fi, yes, but it doesn't matter. There is still, you can tell if it's still trying to ping on it or whatever. You can check if your neighbors have been trying to get on your password or your Bluetooth. And so, it's always trying to connect. That's a good way, Jenny Lou. He didn't connect with their Wi-Fi. He touched it. Yes. It's just reaching out into the universe to say, you want to connect. That's the best way to say it. Your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi is constantly trying to do that. Constantly. It doesn't matter if you're in someone's neighborhood and you're close enough to a Wi-Fi, a Bluetooth, it's bing, 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 looking. We kind of live in the Jetson days, right? I guess, sorta. I mean, it's getting crazier as it goes by, right? Okay, so and here's another photo of, this is where Brian parked, right? And look how fracking close. This is where he parked that night. Easy access. Get in your car quickly if you need to. This is where he most likely stalked them. Now, look here. This is his stalking spot, right? You see that right there? Door. It's a perfect view. A perfect view. There's your flying can. This is where he parked. This is the road. This is the apartment building, the home and all that. So, yeah. This, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this, but I haven't shown it on mine yet. So, cheering the hearse. This comes from Mary Ann Kohberger, also known as Brian's mother. She wrote this a long time ago. Brooklyn. Perhaps one of the saddest commentaries on mankind was evident during the execution of Theodore Bundy. While no sane, compassionate individual would excuse the autocracies committed by this man, neither would any sane individual applaud the passing of his funeral hearse. What have we become? Is the taking of a human life acceptable when the state takes responsibility for it? Mary Ann Kohberger. Now, so what she's saying is there is, nobody, no sane, compassionate individual would excuse basically the bad behavior committed by a killer, but wouldn't also, as she's saying in her opinion, a sane person would not applaud him, while he's passing in a hearse. It just depends how Bundy had a fan club against his execution. I guess it depends on, where you're sitting, I mean, he got a big, I'm sure Bundy got a big high out of it whenever he murdered his victims, right? It is all how you look on it. He did a lot to his victims. That's not the wrong window for Dylan. Double check. Now, we remember in the affidavit that someone from his university says that, allegedly reported the car being there, which we wondered, was like, well, why wouldn't anybody, report his car? Well, apparently someone did, according to the affidavit. And it says, I saw his Elantra. And this is someone either that goes to that school, to the college there, or lives in the same housing as Brian. They write, I saw his Elantra. I live in these apartments currently. It was here up until winter break. That's interesting. When it disappeared, I thought it might have been cleared by the police. Well, that is just so happens that is when he left for PA, right? Yes, the security did too. Yep. I mean, everybody was looking out for that Elantra. Everybody's looking for it. Oh my God, this is wild. So he didn't just leave town in November. WTF. Yep, he was definitely here. Well, after they announced they searched the Elantra, which he was there. He was there until like the 17th of December, something around there. Winter break started December 19th officially, but lots of graduates, students leave the week before finals week. When did winter break start? Winter break started officially December 19th, and again, lots of graduates, students leave the weeks before the finals week. Did you report it? No, okay, this is the one that said she did not report it. It was the guards. No, and I live with that guilt for a while. That's so crazy that you're his neighbor. Do you know anything about him or any encounter if you're comfortable with sharing? And thank you for the info. Interesting. So they didn't share that part of what she shared, the neighbor. So, if someone gifting memberships, thank you so much. If you're gifting memberships, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome them to the family, guys. Welcome. You're late as usual. I'm sorry. It's okay. We're all late sometimes. Well, thank you, my love. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. What else do we got? Yes, the status hearing is the 11th. I think I have it here. Let me show you. Chanley talks about it.
Brian Kohberger's cell phone allegedly shows him here
At 9:12 a.m. and staying for about 10 minutes. But that isn't the only location police placed Kohberger that day in the hours after the murders. According to the probable cause affidavit, Brian Kohberger's cell phone records show him moving south from Pullman, Washington, where he lived in an on-campus apartment at Washington State University, towards Lewiston, Idaho, about a 50-minute drive. The town of Lewiston is located on the border of Washington State, where just across the Snake River is the bordering town of Clarkston, Washington. It was here at approximately 12:36 p.m. November 13th, 2022, when cell phone records placed Kohberger's vehicle here on Port Drive next to Kate's Cup of Joe coffee stand. The surveillance videos here at the U.S. Chef store show his white Hyundai Elantra drive past. Then, just 10 minutes later, at 12:46 p.m., Kohberger's cell phone records place him at the nearby Albertsons grocery store. Surveillance video at 12:49 p.m. shows Kohberger walking through the store and purchasing unknown items at the checkout. He leaves at approximately 1:04 p.m. The probable cause affidavit does not indicate location data for the next few hours of the day. It isn't until around 5:30 p.m. that the affidavit indicates Kohberger's cell phone located in Johnson, Idaho. But there is no Johnson, Idaho. The affidavit may have meant this community of Johnson, Washington, right on the border of Idaho State. It's a location consistent with the affidavit's route, and it's surrounded by cell phone towers. For 3 minutes from 5:32 to 5:36 p.m. November 13, 2022, Kohberger's cell phone pings here near the community of Johnson. But then his cell phone goes dark for 3 hours. The affidavit notes that this location in Johnson is consistent with the phone being in the same area that it traveled in the hours immediately following the murders. And according to the affidavit, from 5:36 p.m. when it was in Johnson until 8:30 p.m. November 13th, Kohberger's phone stopped reporting to the network, meaning He turned it off, put it in airplane mode, or the phone was in an area without cell coverage. While the probable cause affidavit does provide new revelations into the movements of the alleged killer in the hours after the murders, there are still many questions that remain. Why did he drive so far to the grocery store? What did he buy there? Did he get rid of that murder weapon and other incriminating evidence along the way? Or during that 3-hour period, his phone went dark? For now, we wait, and answers may only come during his trial. Reporting in Moscow, Idaho, Chanley Painter, Court TV.
Now, I want to show you like father, like son, actually. This is a photo of Brian's dad out vacuuming. I don't know what he's sweeping out, but he likes to clean out things. I think he was cleaning out the broken glass and the windows and all that stuff. Brian was cleaning his car, scrubbing the car. Hey, Southern Grammy, good to see you, honey. So yeah, this is a photo cleaning the glass. Yeah, they knocked out a few windows, door windows, all that stuff. Hope you feel better, John. I'm sorry. So yeah, this was him. Make sure that's on this. Kohberger's alleged travels on the day of Moscow murders. He really traveled around a lot that day. This is a interesting diagram. So at 2:42 a.m., Kohberger's cell phone is located at the residence. At 1640, at his residence rather, 1640 Northeast Valley Road, Pullman. 2:47 a.m., a few minutes later, the cell phone shows it's traveling south through Pullman, but then stops reporting a network connection. So he starts right here, right here. And a few minutes later, you can tell he's traveling, and it goes dark. It goes dark. Now at 3:29 to 4:20. So 50 minutes or so. The Hyundai Elantra makes 3 initial passes by 1122 King Road residents, leaving via Walenta Drive. It returns a 4th time at 4:04 a.m., first driving eastbound on King Road. It leaves the area at 4:20, traveling at a high rate of speed. That would have been something if he would have got pulled over right then, wouldn't it? At a high rate of speed. So he's right here at Moscow. He's seen, he goes back. He pulls down, and then he kind of turns around, and then he kind of turns up, and then he backs up, and then he goes around a couple times. 4:48 p.m., 28 minutes later, he's out here, right? The cell phone comes back on and pings at Blaine near US Highway 95. 2 minutes later, 4:50 to 5:27, the cell phone pings at Genesee, then Uniontown. for about 40 minutes. It's pinging here and here within about 45 minutes. First here and then here. And finally at Pullman, between 5:25 a.m. and 5:27 a.m., the white sedan is recorded by five cameras in Pullman and on the WSU campus. Okay. So he's back here, right? Now, at so what's it? That's 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30. Okay, so 3.5 hours later, 9 a.m. to 9:21 a.m. The cell phones show that Brian Kohberger, Pullman resident, and travels back to Moscow. He leaves his Pullman residence. He's back in Moscow literally 3.5 hours later. He's not there for very long, though. He's not there for very long. He's between 9:12 and 9:21. So he's there about eight minutes. It connects with cellular resources that provide coverage to the area where the King Road residence is located. It's pinging off the same tower that provides 1122 King Road. All right. 11 minutes later, 9:32 a.m., he returns to his residence. Now, this time, the night of the murders, he takes the long road home, right? He takes the long road. Starts out here, right? Goes here, but then he takes the long road home. A few hours later, he's back in Moscow. He's, there 8 minutes, 10 minutes. He's just looking around is what his ass is doing. But then I guess he feels pretty confident at this time. He's back at his house. He takes the short road back to his house. Now, 12:36 p.m., 3 hours later, after he gets home, the cell phone shows it is near Kate's Cup of Joe, which I showed you guys that area the other day on the map. One of our subscribers had a video that she showed us. So 3 hours later, after he's at home, he leaves and he's near Kate's Cup of Joe coffee stand in Clarkston. Surveillance footage from the nearby Chef store shows a white Elantra drive past the coffee stand. What is close to Kate's Cup of Joe and the Chef store? The Snake River. Real damn close. Right? So we're way down here now at 8, or this is at 12:36. Now, 12:46, 10 minutes later, to 1:04 p.m., the cell phone pings near Albertsons grocery store in Clarkston. Video footage from Albertsons shows Kohberger exiting the Elantra at 12:49, and interior cameras capture him walking through the store, purchasing items, and at the checkout, then leaving the store at 1:04. Okay. So he's there 20 minutes at Albertsons area. In my opinion, notice I don't see any river around here. Do you guys see any river around Pullman or Moscow? I don't. I don't see any river. But where I do see a river is where he was, right? That's why in the beginning, I did think that he probably kept that knife as a token. Now, I believe he took a token, something from these killings, and that is wherever he's got it, in my opinion. But I don't think he kept the knife. I think it is in the Snake River. Remember, he's not from this area. Okay. 5:36 to 8:30 p.m. The phone stops reporting into a network during this time. That's for 3 hours. This is the final mention of the affidavit gives Kohberger's alleged movements on November 13th. And we just know now 5:36 to 8:30. Is there a 10 on here? Okay, there's no 10. You know, what happened during those 3 hours? They're not telling us. But it's pretty interesting, isn't it? I don't think it's far from him. Snake River is too easy, in my opinion. Maybe. There was a bridge he crossed over at the river. Yes, there was. Oh, I thought it would be. I thought he would, but he wants to be exonerated. Yeah. He. That's the reason he came back so quickly, right? He wanted to be exonerated. But guess what? He's going to be wanting a lot. Oh my God, me too. Me too. But I'm just going to tell you something. If they find that knife, it is nothing short of a miracle, in my opinion. Yeah, Quinny. Yeah. They found the hatchet and hacksaw. I'm sure his DNA is on that. Different case. That is for Anna. That's for Anna. The hacksaw and all that. But you're right. What did he do with his clothes? I think it all went in the river. Yeah. I think it all went in the river. Because if it goes in the river, it's going to A, probably not be found, and B, DNA is going to be washed off. Right? It's going to be gone. Now, if he keeps it in his apartment or a secret location, you know, and it's in a container or whatever, you really set yourself up there, which he's not too bright in my opinion. Yes, the river, I've heard that the Snake River is kind of fast moving. Oh yeah, he wanted to see that affidavit. He certainly did. Certainly did. Certainly did. Did y'all see this? This is a gal who went on a date with Brian. Thought it was interesting.
On Tinder. We talked for a couple hours, and then he was like, "Hey, you want to go to the movies with me tonight?" And I was like, "Sure." So we went to the movies. Honestly, I don't even remember what movie we saw. We ended up going back to my dorm, and he kind of invited himself inside. I thought he was just going to drop me off, but that was not the case. He kind of invited himself inside, and I was just like, okay, I went along with it. So he wanted to watch another movie on Netflix, and I said, sure. He kept trying to touch me, not like inappropriately, just like trying to tickle me and like rub my shoulders and stuff. And I was like, why are you touching me, or what are you doing? And he would just like get super serious, and he's like, I'm not. And I'm like, you are though. And he's like, I'm not touching you. Kind of like trying to gaslight me into thinking that he didn't touch me, which was weird. But then I was like, I'm just gonna run to the bathroom quick. And he was like, okay. And then he followed me to the bathroom, which I thought was kind of weird. So like in the dorm there was like a shared bathroom. He didn't go in with me, but like he stood outside the door, and like I don't know, I just thought that was weird. And I was like, I need to get this dude to leave. Like just not into it. So I proceeded to pretend to throw up to get him to leave. It wasn't because I was scared of him or like thought he would hurt me if I asked him to leave. It was just mostly because I'm socially awkward, didn't know how to ask him to leave. So that's what I did. He ended up messaging me on Tinder that he was gonna go, and I was like, awesome, my plan worked. And then about an hour later he texted me and said I had good birthing hips, so I never talked to him.
Good birthing hips. What a pig. What a pig, to say the least. I'm telling you. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to call it a night. I've got to be up at 5 a.m. Joy to the world. I'm tired. It's been a long day, actually. I appreciate it. Thank you all for being here. Do me a favor. Please hit that thumbs up button. I do appreciate it. Someone mentioned, yeah, you can. There is a technology for picking up prints, potentially DNA in water now, but that is also if it's recently found, and also with the water moving at a high rate, it's highly unlikely. All right, guys. Thank you all. Thank you, Kiwi Girl. Thank you all. If you haven't already subscribed, I would really appreciate your subscription, and hit that bell so you know when we are on. Appreciate you all. Get some rest, each and every one of you. God bless you, and we will see you tomorrow. I'll probably be on tomorrow morning, sometimes early. All right. Good night. God bless. Bye-bye.